What's happening? What's happening, everybody? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming out. Really appreciate everybody. We appreciate all of you all coming to share this time with us. And yeah, I got my boy here, Jeff at Greek Geek Driven, one of the Team Nerd Herd podcast members. He came to share some time with me, and basically we're going to discuss comic books, movies, TV shows, and you know me, man. I'm basically focusing today on Marvel, MCU. With all this, madness going on, we just had some commercials, some previews, some video games. It's just going crazy right now, man. I couldn't help myself, so I hit up Jeff and I said, man, we gotta sit down and have this convo and share it with the people, man. So, hey, welcome. How you doing, Jeff?
Thank you, Azores, man. I appreciate it. I'm honored to be on your show. It's been a long time coming, man. We've been talking about this for months and months and months, and I'm glad we're finally here. I'm glad we're on your channel, and I'm glad that we are here to geek out. Like you said, I didn't want to prepare anything. I just wanted to talk straight off the dome. I didn't want to, write stuff down and just read off something. So, we're just going to geek out here.
Yeah, most definitely. So I'm gonna go into the chat this time. I'm a little bit more prepared than the first time. So I want to give a shout out to my guy X11 Bravo Comics showing up, giving me a little shout out and everything, giving us a shout out. And we had my guy Something Wong, who was actually over on you all show not too long ago. Yeah, man. We got Gomez. From East Meets West, they had me over there, man. I had a good time hanging out with those guys. We got, let's see who else in there. We got Comics and Pops, boy Alonzo, another Team Nerd Herd member. And he's actually going to be teaming up with Morbius later on today.
That's right. He's going to be on there around what, 4?
Yeah, around 4 p.m. Was that Pacific Standard Time on our side. So yeah, definitely check him out over there. We got my guy Jason, Claiming Comics. And I'm gonna be teaming up with him later on today over there with Justin and No Good and JR Roseslaw. So we're gonna be talking about the
Black Science.
Yeah, man, we're gonna be talking about the Black Science book, man. I can't put it down, man. I'm enjoying that read so much, and I knock it out as soon as I get the memo on what we're talking about. So let's see who else we have in here. We got Uncle Rudy in the house. Shout out, Rudy. Yeah, thanks for coming by. And we got Justin No Good. So
what's up, Justin?
So yeah, man, thank you for everybody tuning in, whether it's on a replay or whether it's right now live. This thing is like just getting crazy with it. You don't know when I'm going to pop up with something. So I appreciate you all being here. But basically, man, with all these commercials going on, speculative talk, video games, movies, it's just been a great time to be a comic book fan,
Amen.
I've really been enjoying everything as far as like Disney Plus, and I know you all had the Shang-Chi event, so that was awesome.
Yeah, we missed you, but we understand.
Yeah. So I'm actually gonna go check that out probably this weekend, man. But I'm one of those, man. I can deal with the spoilers and the YouTube shows and everything, and learn all about the movie, and still go watch it and find something that wasn't presented, and catch some information or some Easter eggs that they might not have brought to my attention. So none of that stuff matters to me. I'm still gonna watch the movie and enjoy it.
I'm the same way a little bit. Like, I don't want the spoilers, but if I get spoiled, it's not going to stop me from ever watching the movie, right? So
right.
I love these movies, and in Feige we trust. So
exactly, man. He hasn't steered us wrong, man. It's been amazing. It's been awesome. Have you been checking out the What If Disney Plus series currently that's on?
Oh yeah, and I can't wait till midnight. Get to check out the next episode. And but yeah, I mean, What If has been blowing everyone's mind. I'm glad that they're going as dark as they're going, because usually that's not something they can do in the movies as much, because you're trying to reach a broader audience. It is honestly, for all the fans who love the darker, broodier stuff, it is more nichey. You have to imagine that most people don't want to just see dark, broody stuff. We have enough dark, broody stuff in the world to look at on the news. So
Hey, that's true. That's true. And then we headed in October, so everybody's getting ready for Halloween and everything. So it's actually fitting. They dropped the Marvel Zombies on us.
yeah,
Spoiler in case you all haven't seen it yet. But we
yeah.
headed into the next one tomorrow, tonight.
If you don't have
So
social media and you're watching this, I'm so sorry we spoiled that for you.
I'm sure everybody's up on it, man. It's been nonstop news and what Marvel Madness, Marvel Mayhem, man. It's been amazing. And shout out Fuzzy Dunlop for just tuning in. Appreciate
Yo,
you.
from across the pond.
Yeah, man. Cheers. Right now, I can only cheer a cup of coffee with.
I got Gatorade, so
And my boy Paul Morris
we're
just
not
showed up.
sponsored, but
Yeah. Shout out Paul Morris. He'll be over there with Alonzo and Morbius later on today. So definitely tune in, check them out.
Nice.
So back to the talk, man. We just got the Hawkeye trailer the other day, and I was pleasantly surprised, man. What did you think about it?
So I actually watched it for the first time today.
Nice.
And every time I watch a trailer, I'm excited, but I don't get overhyped or underhyped. I just sit there and take it in, and then usually I have to watch it a few more times after that to actually form an opinion about what I just watched. And so I watched it maybe about 2 or 3 more times, and honestly, it gets better and better as I watch it. And the reason why, it's because it brings in that whole Christmas element, right?
Yeah,
And
I like
look,
that.
There's not many people who don't love Christmas time, right? Where it's a joyful, hopeful time, and that's what comic books are all about, right? It's you show the dark side, but you also have the hope, and that's what brings everybody in, because that's what's lacking in the world. So that's our that's why the Christmas time part of it is so perfect for this kind of a show. You can't help yourself but get a little giddy when you hear the Christmas music. You go, oh, something to look forward to, with everything that's going on.
Most definitely. It reminded me of back in the day with was it Die Hard and stuff like that. Those movies you don't expect to be Christmas themed movies, but really they are,
Yeah, it felt True Lie-ish. It felt, Die Hard-ish. It's just that nice, cool spy movie. A little Jackie Chan-ish. It's very, what, Tuxedo? Is that that spy movie?
Yeah.
Right, the Tuxedo,
Yeah.
right? So it felt like that kind of humor. Honestly, I didn't expect that kind of comedy coming out of the show. I thought it was going to be a little more serious, because we were talking about that it was going to tie into his Ronin past and what he did during the 5 years.
Yeah.
Right. Yo, what's up, Glenn?
Yeah,
and
shout out Glenn 2K12.
And so you thought it would be darker, especially with the rumors of Echo, and then you got Yelena. Spoilers. Right. So
we know she's coming. Yeah.
Right. And so that these are all people who are basically trying to kill him, probably.
Right. I'm really enjoying the fact that they're bringing it back to street level, because I was pleasantly surprised with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I didn't know how that was going to run, but they kept us on our toes, and we had a lot of action. It actually reminded me of a Marvel movie just chopped up and spliced, So I think, just like you were saying, with the characters, that we have an idea of who are coming. And if you really pay attention to that trailer, watch it a few times, you're gonna catch. I actually saw Echo.
There was one quick shot of her.
Right. Yeah. If you would have blinked, you would have missed her. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw the track suit mafia up in there,
and then we saw Kate Bishop's mom.
Right. So it's like, if you really pay attention, and if you know the story arc, if you've read the books, you're gonna notice some pleasant surprises. And man, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm actually, me, you're trying to figure it all out, put the pieces together like a puzzle in my mind already.
Yeah,
Shout
I
out,
mean, go ahead. Go
shout
ahead.
out Southern Comic Geek. I saw you just showed up in here. What's
Oh,
happening?
what up?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just it's gonna be cool to see. I mean, everyone's talking about it. Everyone's probably seen the trailer, and everybody's saying the same thing. It's part of the. Looks like they're using the Matt Fraction run,
yes,
the Aja run. So I mean, um, it that run was probably the best run that Hawkeye has ever had. So that, I mean, you can see why they're taking it from there. They're taking pages out. Um, of course, it's not going to be exactly like it. They're adapting, and combining different storylines. The whole Echo storyline is probably part of it. My theory is during those 5 years, he started at a lower level, right? He, as Ronin, he probably started with people local in New York in the streets. And then he moved globally, which is where we find him in in Endgame or Infinity War, right?
Right. That's
So,
where she had to pick him up.
but that's 5 years later, right? So he probably started doing that 2-3 years earlier and just worked his way out from the United States all the way out to internationally. And if you start locally, you're gonna mess with people locally. And one of those people who operate in New York was Kingpin.
That's right.
Right. So everyone's talked about Vincent D'Onofrio possibly coming back and reprising his role, and definitely, we all hope it's true, and the rumors are good. And hell, I even want to just see like him from behind looking out the window over the city, right? I don't
Yeah,
even need to see
man.
his face, right?
Man, he was awesome on the Daredevil series, the Netflix Marvel series,
Oh yeah.
and he really captured that character. He really became that character.
I mean, if you don't know, he's a super great actor. He's not just known for that Kingpin character. He's also known for playing on Men in Black,
That's
right?
right.
He's the Bug.
He was the main villain. That's right.
And as silly as that movie is, he played that part remarkably. Like he could have just phoned it in, it's just comedy, but it was great. And he was also on CSI Criminal Mind, and he was one of the detectives.
Detectives, that's right.
Yeah, and
He's got range. He's got range, man.
He is a great actor.
Yeah,
Award-winning.
I always tell people, if they haven't watched those Netflix series, to really sit down with those and start it how they introduced it, like Daredevil. Start out with that one first. That's season 1. That, to me, that was the best. But you got to think about it. That's their first introduction into it, so they're gonna try to hit a home run out the park. And they did great. So I mean, another one is they got the actor that played Daredevil. Was Charlie Cox. He was amazing too. He actually became that character for me too. So it's like, I hope we get those guys, man. And we've been hearing, the
best actors are the ones who embody the characters, right?
Yeah.
The ones who you go, if you see him on the street and you go, oh, that is him, right? That is the character, even though he's like dressed in shorts and short sleeves. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. The best part of the Marvel universe is their casting. I think their casting has been remarkable. So keeping Vincent D'Onofrio, keeping Charlie Cox.
Who else are you gonna say?
No, that was it.
Okay.
Charlie Cox. Okay. So like keeping those kind of characters in the Marvel universe, that would be great. And people got to understand, I don't think it's gonna be from the Netflix Daredevil series. They're just gonna be the MCU's version of Daredevil and Kingpin.
Yeah.
Just gonna be the same actors. So
I'm interested to see how they do that, how they blend it. Because I enjoyed it, but we know it's a business first, so it's a lot of behind the scenes things going on that we're not aware of.
We already got a taste of it.
That's right.
JJJ.
Right. That's right. Now that messed me up. I'm not gonna front. So when I saw him on Spider-Man, my wheel, the mind blown emoji. Will started.
He's like, we already had an incursion. No.
So I'm like, all right. They want to play this game to me. that was the beginning of the multiverse. I know a lot
Yeah.
of people won't agree with me on that, but that's how I looked at it, because I was like, that's the same character, dude. It's like, come on, man.
Well,
You
they're
know,
they're they're getting you used to seeing same actors in these roles, I believe, starting with J. Jonah Jameson, because it was leading to the whole Loki thing, the whole multiverse, the Doctor Strange, of it all. You know, the Scarlet Witch. It's connecting everything. So it's preparing the audience, because you have to remember, us as comic book fans, you would imagine, you know, if you have 100 million people who watch these Marvel movies, maybe only 10 million of them are comic book fans.
right,
You know
right,
what I'm saying? Like, that's 10%. You got 90% of the population going, who are these people, and why do I see the same actor as I saw like 10 years ago or 5 years
right.
ago in a
Yeah,
different, you know, production?
yeah,
So they're gonna have to get the regular audience used to seeing these people and then explaining it.
yep, most definitely.
You know what up?
Shout out Hood Rat Comics. You know, if y'all haven't caught his channel, go tune in, check him out, man. He's killing me with the hashtag show, man. I'm really enjoying that, man. I'm like, yo, what's the next hashtag? So I keep up with it. I like how he's incorporated Instagram.
Yeah, I ran
Um,
into him at a PowerCon on Sunday.
awesome,
Yeah,
man. I heard that was a great event. We have to talk about that later, man.
yeah, man.
So, shoot, man. So you and I were going back and forth, and we actually said we're going to pull up the schedule. So, you know,
Yeah,
people who aren't familiar with when things are coming out, what things are coming out, and another reason why we wanted to have this particular show with you and me is so we could sit down and discuss what do we feel those new Marvel properties are going to be. So right here, I have, and I actually went online and pulled up was it cnet.com. So this is Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4, the full list of release, and they updated this yesterday. So that's
yes.
why I wanted to pull this one, because this is like right on time.
Right up to
So
date. They did
it's
it. It
right up to
looks like they
date.
did it right after the trailer came out. So
Yeah, yeah. So let's see here. We're already here, right? So we got
yes,
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, September 3rd. And this is cool. They even have UK release dates and Australia release dates. So shout out to our listeners and
yep.
watchers,
Shout out to
UK,
Fuzzy.
Australia, exactly. And you know, anybody checking it out on the replay, you know, you all can check this out as well. So we already know we have Eternals coming up next, and Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yes.
And then, oh my gosh, I can't wait for this one, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Look, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I can't wait for none of these, man. All of these are everything that I look forward to. This is the time of my life. You know, growing up, you're like, this is never gonna happen, and if I
Yeah.
see it, it's gonna be cheesy, and you know, it's all that stuff. And now, you know, there's no muscle suit that's all poofy and stuff. This is like CGI. This is the cape is flowing. This is badass. This is
Yeah,
like
man.
what we all dreamt of as little kids, and
Right.
it's happening.
Right before our eyes. And then us
Right?
as comic book collectors, you know, man, we can't get enough of it. You know, we're trying to figure out what's next, what's to come, what books do we need to have if we don't have them already, and what do we need to put on the chopping block, you know, and keep it within the comic book community, you know, and also introduce it to the new fans that are coming in that want to get these books so they can find out more about their favorite characters and find out what these movies
Yes.
are all about, you know. So we're actually building the community as we speak, you know. So man, I'm all for it. I'm all on board. And that's another reason why I enjoy the whole speculation piece. I know a lot of people don't like it. It gets a bad rep sometimes, but I just have fun with it. And I treat it like a puzzle that I'm just trying to piece together, you know, and staying ahead of the game. Shout out Denime, etc. For tuning in. He had an awesome show last week. He teamed up with Raging Cajun Comics. So I definitely check that out on the replay if y'all didn't missed it. Also, where are we now? After Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, we have Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yes.
I can only imagine. You know, we know bits and pieces, but
I
dude,
mean, what we already know is amazing. what we don't know might be even more amazing, right? We don't know if Beta Ray Bill's going to show up. You know, we don't know how this whole thing is going to go down. How Jane Foster gets the power of Thor. You know.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of, is she gonna have cancer, right?
Right.
Like it's whole kind. I'm sorry, spoilers. This is gonna be spoilers, you know, city.
Yeah,
So,
man. I should have put exclamation points and
but yeah, I mean,
stars and stuff.
so much to look forward to, and of course, Taika Waititi is definitely going to be back in directing, and you can't go wrong with that. So,
and he's a fan. He's a fan first. You know, that's what I'm really enjoying.
He's a geek first, yeah,
exactly. So they're bringing in these comic book fans to help put these together. So he's one of us. You know, shout out Steve, Hip Hop and Comics, another member of Team Nerd Herd, and then who else I see roll in? I think I'm good. Trying to keep up with everybody.
I think
so then we got you know, and back to Thor: Love and Thunder. What if we get Throg? You know, we got a glimpse. You know, so we got after that Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and you know, everybody, this is the talk of the town right now. After we, you know, got the Riri info, and then we got the I think they said the actress that's playing Shuri got hurt. You know, so everyone's trying to figure that out.
Right. Like, what stunt was she doing?
Right. What
just remember, Shuri does stunts as well, not just as a Black Panther.
Exactly. So. Remember, she was fisticuffs with the Panther gloves on in the movie, right? So that was awesome. And then after that, we have the Marvels. Now, man, I can only imagine with this one. You know, we got Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. Spectrum.
I'm calling her Spectrum. I don't care. I don't care what they're calling her. I don't care. Look, if you watch WandaVision, all right, and if you understand science a little bit, right?
Yeah.
She went through a spectrum through her eyes, like what she pictured or viewed was
and then the bullets going through her cut through a spectrum. So I feel you on that. And I agree. I know what the mother's nickname was Photon on there.
Right.
So,
but that's why, like, it could be Photon. Don't get me wrong. She could take up the moniker.
Be Photon, and she
but Spectrum, her mom was Photon, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So we already had technically a Photon in the MCU,
right? And then you know me, man. You can't have the Marvel's title without bringing my guy, the Blue Marvel. I know we haven't heard nothing about that, but I would love to see that. I would love to see that, dude.
There are rumors the Blue Marvel could show up. There are rumors Marvel Boy could show up.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's right, Marvel Boy.
There's all kinds of different possibilities. It is called the Marvels for a reason.
Yeah.
And who knows who we get?
Yep. So
or it could just be another engineer that was just walking around.
Oh, that's right. The engineer. Remember they said the mother's coworker was the engineer.
Yeah, it's just a person.
But it's all good. And then that brings us down to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Woo. Man, I'm ready for that one, dude. That's
anybody watch Loki? Because this is what you're waiting for.
That's right. You know? That's right. That's going to be crazy, man. That's going to be crazy.
And here's the thing. I don't think we'll ever see Kang again. Okay, and technically that wasn't Kang that we saw either.
That's right. Exactly. But to your defense, I feel we saw a Kang statue at the end. That's what I feel.
Okay, yes. That's definitely probably what we saw. We saw Kang the Conqueror statue at the end.
Yeah.
But we will not see Kang until either Loki or Ant-Man. We're not going to see him in between. I don't think we're going to see him on a TV show again.
Yeah.
We might get a version of him as in Iron Lad.
Right.
You know, something like that. But
it's so many versions, you know, that we could get of him. And that's what's going to make that so exciting. And I don't really think people are really understanding the full extent, you know, and it's amazing, you know, within our comic book collecting, you know, the Kang train has died down, right? So, dude, I'm just scooping them up because we know he's coming back, right? And then it's going to happen all over again once they see him again, right?
Whether he's the big bad of the Avengers movie or he's the big bad of all of this whole second part of their big, you know, stages.
Yeah.
Because if you think about phase 1, 2, and 3 is like one big arc, right? It's the Infinity arc. You're gonna have 4, 5, and 6 doing another arc, so it's gonna be probably a multiverse Secret Wars arc, and right, and so it includes like people like Kang, it includes people like Doom, and these are these big bads. Galactus is one of those people involved in it, right? So we know that we're going more galactic, we're more
Cosmic
space
heavy,
cosmic heavy, exactly.
Yep.
And then we're also gonna have like that the street side of it with possibly Daredevil showing up.
Yeah. So that's gonna be a fun ride right there, man. And it's gonna be no holds bar because there's no extent to what they can do with that. And after that, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and that's gonna feed right into that cosmic scene, that you were just talking about.
And it's gonna have one of my favorite characters, Adam Warlock. Well, hopefully, I mean, that's
crossed.
What they left off, right? And we know that James Gunn has said that he was gonna do it, and then I've heard rumors that said that he's thought about not doing it. So
I don't know about you, but I actually been going back to the old movies and sitting down with those Easter eggs to the ones that they have not honored yet. Yeah, exactly. The ones that haven't paid off yet, and that's another reason why I wanted to come on here and talk to you, to see your thought process, what you were thinking. And definitely, man.
I keep my ear to like the movies. So when you hear directors and actors and producers talking about stuff, a lot of that information is great information here spec wise. Yes, him. I definitely think he's still going to do it, but he also talked about that since Guardians 1, James Gunn has always said he wants to write the story about Rocket's history, his background.
Oh yeah, that's right. Origin. So then with that, we have my guy. Gosh, how am I call my guy? And I forgot his name, right? But Herbert, and then he is called.
He's the High Evolutionary.
The High Evolutionary, exactly.
Yeah,
and that's a villain who people don't keep up with as much. But
he's a big villain, and he has been a big villain in the Marvel comic books.
Right, exactly. He's been big in the comic books, and he's actually starting to resurface within the comic books. I've noticed.
Right. Remember, he also has a connection to Wanda and the twins, right? Because of the bovine, who I believe he created.
Right, and we actually got a poster at the grocery store,
right,
on the title page for WandaVision.
Right, and one of those commercials. Same thing.
So it's like we pay attention to everything.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as I heard, the rumors that I've heard in my circles is the High Evolutionary is probably going to be involved. It's going to be about Rocket's background, about how he became sentient and all of that, and we might even see his mom, because if Rocket's back history, you know that he has a family that he's got separated from,
right,
and the High Evolutionary, I guess sped up his evolutionary track and made him sentient basically.
Right. I've been reading a lot of the older books just to try to keep, on course with everything. And then look what we have after that. Fantastic Four to be announced.
So we don't know if it's going to be right after Guardians 3. It's just whatever happens after this.
Right.
It's possible that it's Fantastic Four. There's some rumors saying that Fantastic Four will be the last movie before the Avengers movie, and some people say that it's the last movie that'll end Phase 4, and some people just say it's just going to be a movie in Phase 4.
Yeah,
right.
So I don't mean to cut you off. Shout out my guy Swagger House. I always got to shout him out, man, because this dude, when I came across his page, he's another one that had my mind going, wheels turning, and he and I always sit down and talk about the Avengers animated series, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. And once he brought that to my attention and I sat down with that, I saw his thought process. It's a lot of characters on that show that, could be used. A lot
Okay.
of story arcs in there. And if you look at that show, the directors and the writers were taken from that series and brought to the MCU. So shout out
Yes.
Swagger House, man, because he
Yeah.
unloaded that, and I've been running
It's
with it ever since, dude.
funny that you mentioned him. Before I even got in this whole YouTube space, I did used to watch Swaggle House. And it's funny because the reason why I watched him is because he had the same thought process as I did, because I've
Nice.
watched all the Avengers animated series, the Spider-Man animated series, the Black Panther arc, the Ultron arc. It's I've watched all of it. I love all of it. And it's the same thing. I think the same way, where it's they've picked and chosen a lot of characters from those shows that you don't see mostly, that get front and center on comic books. And the reason why is because it was on the Disney Channel. You're talking to
Exactly.
kids from, like, this is maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago almost.
Yep.
Right. And all those kids are in their mid-20s, in their 30s now. They're adults. They're watching movies. They're paying for, to go watch these movies. They have kids.
Yeah.
So it's more likely that Marvel's aiming toward that audience because they grew with them.
Exactly. Now,
Right? They basically almost this is bad, okay?
Go ahead.
But they trained these kids to like what they're seeing, right? Like,
Yeah.
and to grow with it.
Yep.
So you graduate from animation to, maybe TV series or just to the movies.
Right.
And you go along with their financial track, right?
Yes. And see, this is what I say to people. It's like, it's not about us. It's about the future. It's about the kids.
About the kids, about regular normies who don't collect comic books, who normally don't read a comic book.
Yeah, shout out Guy Forge. I wanted to press with defects
What's
up in the house. Yeah, man. So it's like, it amazes me when people are like, "Oh man, there's nothing left to watch on Disney Plus." I bought it. I don't know what, dude. I've been watching those animated series like crazy.
And then they're really watchable, man. You don't gotta be a kid,
right? But I get away with it, because I got the little dude and
you got
my daughter. Yeah, I got an excuse, but I'm doing homework when I'm watching it with them. So
it ain't homework to me. It's all fun. I love it. I don't care. You can call me a kid, a big kid. I'm still gonna watch it.
Right. So let's see. So we left off with Fantastic Four, and now this is where we were, going back and forth with. We have 4 untitled Marvel films.
Actually,
right here.
There's 6 because
it's 6. Okay,
at least 6. As far as I can tell, because there's more. There's 4 dates into 2024, and we only have 1. So there's at least 3 more. So there's. Yeah,
we have July 28th, 2023.
Right.
We have October 6th, 2023.
Right.
We have November 10th, 2023, and September. I'm sorry, I'm making up dates and stuff, dude. February 16th, 2024.
Right.
Huh. Okay.
And then there's 3 more dates. There's 3 more dates in 2024. Right.
Wow.
I believe it's in May.
And
I believe the other one is July.
Okay.
And I believe the next one is in November.
Got it.
So yeah.
So shout out Moonlit Comics. We're about to be teaming up with her tomorrow on the game show Introspective on Teen Nerd Her channel. That's gonna be fun. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah.
And then so you say it's actually 7, not 4.
Yeah, I guess so. It looks like there is 7.
Okay. So that's awesome. So it's like, I'm gonna start with this 4. And the question I have for you, because I've been going back and forth with a lot of different people, is it 4 properties that we have not been introduced to yet, that we have no idea, no clue at all? Okay, or is it 4 things that we've seen a picture or a clip or something, but we didn't have any dates?
Okay, so you got to remember, we know Fantastic Four is coming, right? We know Blade's been casted. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So we definitely know that there's 2 possible movie dates for those 2 characters.
Got it.
Okay. Now, Blade has never been confirmed to be in Phase 4, so it could change. Okay. These, as far as I would think, and of course the rumors that I've heard is we've not heard all the movies that have been slated for Phase 4 yet.
Okay.
And
Now,
go ahead.
I pulled up, our little handy dandy calendar, right?
Yes.
And we ended on ours at Fantastic Four. So
Right.
then we have Secret Invasion, we have Blade, we have Moon Knight, we have Ironheart, I Am Groot animated,
Mhm.
Armor Wars, and She-Hulk. But that's where we come down here, and that's what I just wanted to show the audience. They haven't forgotten about that. So they even had the Disney Plus series line up for us too.
Oh,
So, when I'm going back and forth with people, like, it's going to be properties that that have not been presented to us yet. So you bring up a great point with Blade, and we know that's the movie.
Right. And we don't know if any of these are in Phase 4, if how long Phase 4 is going to be. Like, my theory is Phase 4 is actually going to be longer than most people think.
Got it.
Right. It's not going to be as long as Phase 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, we're almost starting over again. It's a whole brand new arc. If you read comic books, you know how arcs work, right?
Right.
They go over 6, 12 issues, and then you start all over again, right? And you start from the beginning. You got to introduce certain people. You got to introduce the whole, storyline.
Right.
So it's got to start slow. And that's where we're at.
So I'm going to go through this one a little bit before we go into, what we think they're going to be. Okay. So, we had fun with WandaVision. That was a ride.
Yes.
The Falcon and Winter Soldier was dope. It introduced my Madripoor. So I know they haven't given me my mutants for real yet. My X-Men.
Hey, they're giving you a tease though.
They gave me the Princess Bar, dude, and that did a lot for me, man. So I enjoyed that. We got Loki, which was another ride.
Oh.
We can't stop talking about it. I think everybody's ready for season 2 and season 3.
Yeah.
And we're at What If right now.
Yeah.
So we just got the trailer the other day for Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And then here we have Miss Marvel. So it says late 2021, and then we were talking about the Marvels 2022. Okay.
So here's the thing with that one. That might get pushed. There are rumors that it could still possibly be at the very tail end of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
But it depends how long Hawkeye is. If my understanding is right, I believe Hawkeye is 6 to 8.
Oh, as far as episodes?
Yeah, episodes. It's probably closer to the 8 episodes. Wow. But if it's 8 episodes, that carries through to next year.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it's going to work in that sense. They've never had 2 Marvels going at the same time. They'll have a Marvels and a Star Wars, which is fine. But having 2 Marvel series going at the same time would be very difficult unless there was an absolute reason they did that, right? Like it was absolutely connected and it was just a continuation. But it's probably not. And if they do happen to release it this year, then Hawkeye is a 6 episode series.
Series. Okay. That'll be dope.
But I'm pretty sure they already said how many episodes are going to be, and I'm pretty sure it's more than 6. But
yeah,
I'm not gonna commit to that because I don't remember.
we'll look that up later. But that's some good. It's always something good to keep up with. Because then we see what's going to feed into the next thing and like their time frame. And then after that we have Moon Knight, which should be dope, dude. Oscar Isaac is like, you got him attached to the property already, so and he's taking it very serious.
You got other great actors already attached to that series as well. Right? So
I mean, the lineup,
I can't remember his name, but he's a big time actor.
Okay.
Supposedly going to be playing the villain.
Really?
Yeah. And and if people don't know or don't read comic books as much, Moon Knight is somehow connected to Kang because Moon Knight gets his powers from Khonshu. And Khonshu was an ancient god in Egypt times, right? And Rama Tut was during Egypt times, right?
Yeah.
So
and Moonlit just let us know Ethan Hawke.
Of course, Moonlit.
And Ethan Hawke is dope. Hawke is dope. He's a great actor, man.
Great actor. Just again, I told you, Disney has no flaws in picking actors. They're casting exactly.
And isn't it amazing? Like once we, got announced that Christian Bale was going to be attached to Thor, we thought he was going to be everybody, right?
Hey, well, you know what? Some people got it right though.
They did,
And here's the funny
it
thing:
blew
the
my
people,
mind, dude.
when they actually picked him as that character, or that character was going to be in the movie,
Yeah,
no one believed it because he's a fairly new character.
exactly. That was my thing. I was like, he was too new, but boom, here he comes.
There you go.
yeah,
So nothing is too new to be used in the movies as long as it fits their movies.
exactly. So that's
And
going to be awesome.
so
So
you know,
who would
Feige's not
Ethan
afraid.
Hawke play?
Yeah,
That's going to be a great question, you know.
he could be his brother. He could be, you
I have
know.
some ideas, man. I have some ideas, but we'll save that for another time so we can,
Yes,
get to the four that we see that have not filled yet. Then you got She-Hulk coming, which
yes.
that's going to be interesting. I want to see how they do She-Hulk. You know, I heard some things like somebody, a director or someone from Ally McBeal is going to be attached to it.
Okay.
You remember
Yeah,
that
I mean,
series back in the day?
yeah, the lawyer. Yeah, it was a very famous, TV series that went
Back in the
for a
day,
long time. Oh
yeah.
yeah,
And
it was
don't
syndicated.
quote me on
Everything.
that. Maybe they said maybe it'll have that feel to it. I don't know.
No, but
We're
that's
just
what they said. Yeah,
okay.
and
You heard that too?
Tatiana Maslany is another great actor.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, she was in I forgot what that show was, but she had the multiple personalities.
Mm-hmm.
So she's a Black Orphan. That's it. Black Orphan. So
Oh,
she
yeah. I know
was the
about
main
that.
actor, right?
Yeah. Huh. Okay. So that's gonna be cool. And then
No,
we
I
already
would
know
probably say Moon
Banner's gonna
Knight
be on
and
there.
She-Hulk. Moon Knight would probably be spring
Okay.
or later, before June
Mm-hmm.
would probably be Moon Knight. She-Hulk would probably be after June.
Got it. Got it. And then after She-Hulk, we have the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. Now this is showing that it's going to be a Disney Plus series, so that means that I Am Groot might actually be a movie. What do you think?
I think I Am Groot is still going to be a series because I
Okay,
think that's what James Gunn said.
got it, got it. So it'll
Um,
be an animated series.
yeah, that's what the I Am Groot's going to be, and I
Yeah,
actually think the Guardians holiday special is going to be live.
right, right. So that should be good. That should be good. So
And I think it's
man,
a one shot. It's a one done show. Yeah, I don't
yeah.
think it's a series.
I mean, it can't go wrong with Groot. That's gonna stuff animals,
So it might
coloring
be like a
books.
TV movie in a
Okay,
sense. Yeah.
okay. Then we have Secret Invasion. Dude, I've been grabbing so many Secret Invasion books from the back bins and $2 bins or whatever.
I'm
Anytime I see them, scooping them
so
up.
happy that, like, when this came out, I think maybe a year or two after it came out, I found a set. It was just, comic book selling a set for, cheap price. I think I got it
Yeah,
for like $25 for the whole set. So,
yeah.
or maybe even 20.
So that's another
Yeah,
reason why we
cheap.
wanted to share these shows and schedules and everything with you all, because it gives you something else to look at when you're hunting. When
Mhm.
everybody's going, left, you can go right.
Yeah.
You can find it for cheap, and then you're ahead of the curve.
Look, if you want quick flips, then you're gonna have to be lucky,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You can't, anything that's hot now. You have to find it. You're gonna have to be very lucky that the comic book store is not up to date.
mm-hmm,
Whoever's selling it doesn't know what they're selling.
mm-hmm.
That's the only way you're gonna get deals of anything that's hot right now, right?
Right,
So
right.
anything Hawkeye right now, guess what? That stuff's gonna skyrocket
It's
because
already
that
shot up.
trailer. Yeah, exactly. See, there you go. You're probably because I only watched the trailer today.
Yeah,
I'm sure as soon as that trailer came out in the
yeah.
last 24 hours, it's probably been hot cake, right?
They dropped it Monday morning, man. So
Which is
there
even
you go.
funnier because I just found 2 key issues in that
Nice.
run, and it's basically cover price, and
Yeah.
one of them was a second print.
See,
So
it's
I
like
was
you
like,
said, just make your
hey,
rounds. As soon as you see it or hear it's coming, go hunting.
yep,
So then Secret Invasion is gonna be crazy. Ironheart, we already know it's gonna be crazy. People are already going
yes,
crazy over Riri right now.
yes,
After Ironheart, Armor Wars. That's gonna be
yes.
dope, and people aren't talking about that one right now. People,
Oh,
they're
you
kind of
know,
quiet on that.
it's weird because, and I think the reason why people aren't talking about it is because, one, maybe not a lot of people have read Armor Wars, or both Armor Wars.
Right.
Right. There's more than one Armor Wars. And then on top of that, like, there is no Tony Stark. So Tony Stark was very important to that storyline.
Yes.
But you work around, right? You still got Rhodey.
Yeah.
Now you've got Ironheart. Okay. Don't forget, by the time this movie comes out, it's a certain amount of time that Justin Hammer had been in jail already. So maybe he had served his time by that time.
And then if you watch the little clip from Disney Plus, they show him in prison right now.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. And then there's other people who in the world would be involved. Maybe we get a glimpse of Victor Von Doom.
Dude, man. Once he hits the screen, it's gonna be crazy.
You just don't know who can be in Armor Wars. Who is it gonna involve? Don't forget there's different factions out there. Hydra could possibly still be out there. AIM could still be possibly out there. Yeah. You've got people like the Russian version of Hydra. You got Leviathan that could be out there.
Oh,
right?
Man. Yeah.
You got people like maybe Trask could be out there trying to get technology to make Sentinels, right?
Yeah.
You've got Sword out there with Vision's specs, right? Yeah. So I mean, like, there's all kinds of different agencies and factions that could be involved in this Armor Wars, right?
Yeah. So shout out Jarrell Fernandez. Thanks for coming.
Yo, what up?
Yeah. So this is just to get people's wheels turning, get them thinking, what do they want to see? And then after Armor Wars, we have an untitled Wakanda series. See, so it's gonna circle back around, So if you miss it for that, it's gonna come back.
If you look at those last three, they could all technically be connected,
right?
Because we're getting the introduction of Ironheart, Riri in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, right? So instead of tying her to Tony Stark, she's now going to be tied to Wakanda, right? She's going to be tied to Shuri. She's going to be tied to what do you call it? Vibranium, right?
Vibranium, yes. So then we might get a vibranium armor, which would be amazing.
Right, exactly. So you can have it go to Ironheart and then going into Armor Wars, because now she has a new technology that probably no one else will have, right? It'll be a combination of Stark and Wakanda, technology and Riri technology, right? Yeah. And then you got Armor Wars, and then you've got Wakanda, the land of Wakanda or Wakanda Forever or whatever they're gonna call it, right?
Right.
And she can be going back to Wakanda.
Yeah.
For all we know, right? So it could be all connected. And that would actually be kind of cool too.
It would be, man, to have the series and the movie connected going on around the same time. That would be amazing, dude.
Right?
Shout out Sheena, HKYF420 for coming. Yeah. And then so now the only one, like you were saying, like they didn't say Blade, and then I Am Groot, like you said, more than likely will be an animated Disney Plus series,
right?
And those are the only ones from my list that aren't accounted for. And you said we got 7, and they're only showing us 4 right here.
Exactly.
So excluding those 2, what are you thinking? What's your thought process on this untitled Marvel properties?
Now, there was another one that they had been rumored to happen, right? And then was now said to probably happen. Okay. Is Captain America 4.
Oh, that's right.
We got Sam Wilson, right?
Sam Wilson, yep.
Okay, so now we have 3 out of the 7 different spots.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So then you got 4 more movies.
Okay.
There's a good possibility it could be a second movie to Shang-Chi.
Okay.
There's a possibility there could be a Young Avengers movie.
Now,
and I'm not going to count that a Young Avengers movie doesn't necessarily have to be an Avengers movie.
True. Let's see.
You're the only one. You're the only lady. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, Michelle's here. Moonless in here.
Michelle's here.
Yeah. And then you know what? We probably got some other ladies tuned in, but they're not in the chat right now, or maybe they're gonna catch it on a replay.
Now, if you're thinking there's a possibility of any mutant movies, I'm gonna say no. And the reason why I'm gonna say no is I think they want to focus on the FF first.
Gotcha.
They want to lead up to the Fantastic Four. They want to make them the first family of Marvel. They want to give them the pride and joy that they deserve from Marvel, right? And Feige is not going to let this one down. He's been preparing it for all of Phase 4 ever since he found out that he could possibly buy Fox.
Right, because that's like one of his favorite books and series.
He loves FF. He loves
favorite properties.
He loves X-Men. He loves Wolverine. Like if you pay attention to what he likes, he's butthurt about how Fox treated these properties. He
wants to do it justice.
He used to whine about this stuff. Now you never hear a word out of him, right?
Right. Silence.
But before, if you ever listen to any like interviews he's ever done, he's like, you can tell how upset he is about some of the choices they've ever made.
Yeah.
So I mean, they didn't like the sideburns, and he like begged them to do the sideburns for Wolverine. It's just like there's all kinds of issues. He wanted the hair crazier,
Right. Now, see, this is why I have you on this particular show, because as much as it hurts my heart for you to say not X-Men, not mutants, not Wolverine, I need that to keep me grounded, because, as soon as I hear anything or see anything, I'm ready.
I want it to look. Spidey and mutants are my favorite in all of Marvel Comics. Okay, those are X-Men and Spider-Man. I used to collect all of that stuff when I was a kid, for sure.
Nice.
If I skipped any title, it wasn't going to be those two.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was actually multiple titles, right? There was X Factor, there was Spectacular Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man. So I had all those series. I would always collect and read.
Yeah.
And the fact that I have to temper myself as well to expect mutants, it sucks, but it makes the wait worthwhile,
right?
Because trust me, when he does it, and Feige this is probably why he's taking so long, is probably his favorite property,
the Fantastic Four.
No, I think it's the X-Men.
Oh, the mutants,
X-Men. Yeah. Okay. I think mutants are his favorite.
And plus, he was involved with those original movies.
And I think it's like it's a project, a pet project for him, in the sense of he wants redemption, right? Because that's where he started.
Yeah.
Well, one of the places he started, but he had a bigger, part or role than he had previously.
Exactly.
So when he was part of the X-Men, he was definitely a consultant, especially for the Marvel side of it. And he was definitely, telling them to do this, do that. And, they just wouldn't listen. So this is something where he's going, I don't have anyone to answer to but myself, basically.
Right.
He's going to do the X-Men proud. I think he's going to make everyone proud. He just give them some time. Because, look, it's hard to make mutants. Obviously, we've seen the X-Men's in movies, but we're all going to be honest here, right? Yeah. I didn't mind the movies. I didn't mind watching them. I didn't mind, some of them were really good, but they're not X-Men movies. They're mutant movies.
Exactly.
Okay, so they're not they're not connected to any real Marvel stories except for Days of Future Past. And if you think about it, that was kind of forced in there.
Yeah.
Right. And then the whole apocalypse story, it didn't feel like an apocalypse story.
Right.
There's no storyline I can go back to that I can go, oh, well, that they took pieces from this and that. It just felt like they did their own thing and just said, oh, destruction.
Yeah.
So in that regard, Feige is going to take his time. He's going to do it right. He has a plan. And we haven't even gotten Eternals yet. Let's get Eternals first.
Yeah.
Then we can talk about mutants.
Right. Okay? And I think that's why we get in the Eternals to, start the process.
Exactly. And just think about it. Eternals was set already at the beginning of Phase 4. Yeah. No matter how you looked at it, whether it was, movie number 3 or movie number 4, doesn't matter what movie it was supposed to be, but it was definitely set early in Phase 4.
Yeah.
So if it's set early in Phase 4, he's setting groundwork for later on down the road in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know your comics and you know what the Eternals are, and what the Celestials did,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They created the 3 different species,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got your Eternals, you got your Deviants, and then you got your humans who have latent genes, right? And those will be activated, ancestrally down the line, right? And some of them not so long down the line, if you ask Apocalypse, right? So I mean, there's all kinds of things that they can do as long as they put the Celestials in place,
right?
And the Internals.
That's gonna be amazing. And then shout out, let's see, Uncle Rudy had to head out for lunch, so that means we're getting closer to the hour close. And then shout out Missy W. This is my sister who's been hooking me up with all the awesome, amazing thumbnails that you all been seeing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, so I want to shout her out. She just popped in, and so we said we already have what 3 out of the 7.
Yeah,
and you're looking at one of those 4 being Young Avengers.
I think it's possible that we'll get Young Avengers and it's definitely gonna have to be after Ant-Man and the Wasp, because that's where we're gonna get
way
Stature.
after.
It's gonna be she's probably going to be the last or second to last Young Avenger that we get to meet.
Mm-hmm.
We've already met. So we'll start with WandaVision, right?
Right.
We met Tommy. We met Billy.
Right. So that's Speed and Wiccan.
Mm-hmm. And then you've got Falcon and Winter Soldier, which we met Patriot.
Right. We met Patriot.
We went to Loki. We met Kid Loki.
That's right. We met Kid Loki.
So you have 4 already, right?
And then now we got Hawkeye.
We know we have Kate Bishop coming out. That's Hawkeye.
Right. And then Stature.
And then we know Stature has existed, at least the character, before she became Stature.
Right. That's right.
She's existed already in the MCU.
Which is his daughter.
Yeah, Cassie Lang.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've got our Young Avengers. We're basically minus an Iron Lad and a
Hulkling.
Right. And don't forget, we are going to get Secret Invasion. And who's to say that we don't get a Hulkling out of that one?
That's true. And then Jarrell Fernandez brings up a great point. Amadeus Cho,
Yeah, so and
that'll be amazing.
Amadeus Cho, okay, look, it hasn't been proven yet, but we already know there's a Cho in the Marvel Universe. In Age of Ultron, she was one of the scientists, right? That Ultron took over. Right.
So that was supposed to be his mother, right?
That's supposed to be his mom. At least that's what I believe Feige even said.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that these people exist, or at least the people connected to them exist in this world.
Right.
Just the same as we
Easter
know
egg for us.
Miles, it probably exists in the world as well, because we have his uncle. So there's all kinds of different connections that we have. And of course, Kang exists in our world. So Iron Lad probably exists in the world because now we have a multiverse.
Right.
So, I mean, it's the Young Avengers is right there. They don't even have to introduce Iron Lad in any show. They can do it in, Young Avengers movie. He'd be the last one that they introduce. Right. Or it could be an Armor Wars for all we know.
Right. So I'm definitely on board with you on that one for the Young Avengers. It's like the writing is on the wall. So what do we have for those other 3 over there?
Okay.
I know, right?
Okay. Now remember, we didn't say when any of these movies would be, right?
That's right.
So I heard a rumor, and I believe it came from Lords of the Long Box.
Okay.
From Mr. Mikey Sutton. He said something like he believes that November 2024 will be the Wolverine movie.
Right.
And I've said that I don't believe there's going to be any mutant movies in all of Phase 4.
And I'm all for it. Matter of fact, look, I even came prepared today, man. I wore my Wolverine shirt. I thought you were going to give me some awesome news.
I got you, man. I got Cyclops. I got the Professor. I got Wolverine on here. Yeah, I got you. But I don't believe that's going to happen because, one, that big of a casting, that big of a movie for this universe there is no way that that information is getting leaked to all people, all kinds of people. There's that. I don't care how tightly sealed Marvel is; they are not. We've already heard different rumors. We already know Jamie Foxx is in the Spider-Man movie, right? And why? And we haven't seen him in any trailer, but we know he's in the movie,
right? Right.
I don't need confirmation from Feige at this point because Jamie Foxx says he's in the movie.
That's true, huh?
Right? And the reason why is because they can't keep a leak on everyone. You can't keep it sealed on everyone.
Yeah.
And that big of an announcement, that's gonna hit there's a casting call list, okay?
Yeah.
And this is throughout Hollywood for all people who are, who try out or who audition for anything in Hollywood, any role. There's an actual audition casting list. And Marvel will put it out there that they're looking for, such and such role, but they'll hide the names, they'll change the names and all that stuff. But the description's going to be pretty close to what you think it is. Right. So it's going to be hard to hide that particular kind of characteristics looking for, in the casting list. People are going to point that out right away. And these people have been doing it for decades. So it's not like they can't point something out as soon as they read it. So that's how those leaks start, right? Because then somebody in the casting list is going to see that description and go, "Oh, that's got to be Wolverine, right? It's coming from Disney or Marvel, or someone I know is connected to that, right? Yeah." And then they go, "Okay, I'm going to tell my buddy who's the one who reports all the leaks, right? But that buddy, he needs to go verify. So he's going to go talk to all his sources at the studio, and he's going to get somebody who's going to finally tell him, yeah." You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to happen. Right. And so that big of a leak, it has to, there's no way that no one's going to find out in the next, if it's going to happen as Wolverine, you'll hear about it in the next year. But in the next year, you don't hear anything about a Wolverine, anything. You can throw that one out the door because my pick for that date is Fantastic Four. And the reason why
I'm gonna keep my hopes up, man.
I know why Mikey Sun said it was definitely going to be that movie because it's the 50th anniversary of his appearance.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what has me. I'm on board for that ride. That's why I'm with him on it.
But I think that coincides with the game, the video game, and that's why it's getting the promo now. I also believe it has something. If you don't know, Fantastic Four's anniversary is also in November. So you got to think it's a 50-50 at that point. But I don't think the mutants are coming out in phase 4. They'll give us hints, but I don't think we're going to get an actual movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, Young Avengers. What else?
Broke someone's heart.
No, hey, you know that we're Wolverine fans. That's my sister right there. But man, I'm still riding with it because that connection just makes so much sense to me until proven otherwise. So I'm gonna ride with Mikey Sutton on that one. I just want it, I'm biased. I'm a Wolverine fan.
hey, and I'm not gonna hate you for it, and I'm not gonna tell you no because hell if I know what's gonna happen, right?
Right. So we don't know, but that's what makes this fun, man.
And I get to hedge my bets here, right? Because I can either say I'm right, or I get to be elated that it's freaking Wolverine.
That's true. That's true.
Either which way, I win.
So we got Young Avengers. Now, do you think we're gonna get like a Dark Avengers, maybe?
So
a Thunderbolts, something like that.
I think that's actually a possibility. I know that they're talking about doing a villain type movie, and the team part has come up as well. So, I wouldn't doubt that they do something like maybe they do a Dark Avengers back to back with an Avengers movie. Right, because you can see the dichotomy of the teams. Right. And that would be kind of cool to see. I think that's a really. I don't even think anybody's actually even thought of that idea, like in the sense of like saying that out loud or saying that could possibly happen. But I mean, that's what I would like to see. If you're gonna do the Dark Avengers or a Thunderbolts team, which I kind of want to see it. I want it to be called Dark Avengers because. Just thinking about the dichotomy between the Avengers and this different villainous type of team. and then putting them back to back would be really cool. And then maybe, surrounding, the same kind of event,
Right.
and you get these two different views.
Exactly.
Right.
Because I actually think like maybe a Young Avengers, New Avengers could be a mashup,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that could be it, because you don't have to limit the Young Avengers to the comic book Young Avengers team, which I guarantee it probably won't even be.
Right.
It will probably include other people. If you get a Miles, you don't tell me you're not going to throw a Miles on the Young Avengers team, right?
Exactly. Or champions, right?
Right. Or a champions team. And then again, the same thing, you've got a young Cyclops on champions team, right? So
right.
Who knows what you can get with the mutants coming out? We don't know if they're going to be young, they're going to be middle-aged,
or they're going to be different characters, because there's so many characters in that realm.
I don't doubt we'll get different characters. There's a lot of different characters that they're talking about that are out of left field.
Yeah.
But I don't doubt that we'll also get our main X-Men, at least most of them.
Yeah.
Like I definitely believe we're going to get a Storm. I definitely believe we're going to get a Wolverine. I definitely believe we're going to get a Jean Grey.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because those characters, they bring up very huge storylines in important storylines.
Yeah.
The Mutant Massacre.
Yeah.
That's probably going to play a part in the future of mutant movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out Omega Comics and my boy Al. So we're gonna go with Young Avengers.
We're gonna go Young Avengers. Okay,
Dark Avengers.
I want to say Dark Avengers, and I also want to say, okay, so let's lean cosmically, and let's say there's a possibility that we'll get a Nova movie.
Oh, that's right. They did throw up one of those a long time ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's possible that we could get a Shang-Chi 2 as well. That would be about
I heard they're already green lit for that.
Yep, they're green lit, I believe, for a 2 and 3. So, as far as I know, most movies, when they do a sequel, it's about 3 years apart.
Okay.
It takes about that much time to get the green light, to brainstorm for the next story, or at least go off of what you've already started. Right. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they already started writing a second part to it, or a continuation. Yeah. And then you just build on top of that, then getting it approved, the script's approved. It's going to take a process, but at least they have most of what they need, and it won't take that long. It's just the most thing it's going to take is writing the story and getting it finished, the CGI. So that's what takes the longest. As far as, shooting it only takes like 3-4 months.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but another movie that I would think that you would do is, and I'm probably going to go more dark, because if you're going to bring Blade out, maybe you don't even bring Blade first. You start off with more demonized kind of characters. So like you start with a Ghost Rider or a Werewolf by Night. And there's been plenty of rumors of growing around that these characters are coming. And definitely they are. It's just a matter of time. Doctor Strange will determine, and I've been saying this for a long time, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is going to determine what movies is coming next.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because it's going to open the possibilities. We're going to see different versions of things. We're going to see the Wanda and that book, right? The Darkhold.
The Darkhold.
And the Darkhold is highly important. It has everything to do with vampires, werewolves, zombies, The Walking Dead. You know what I'm saying? Like everything you can think of, every demon pretty much is connected to the Darkhold.
Yeah.
And that's where you're going to get your Werewolf by Nights. You're going to get your Ghost Riders. You're going to get your vampires and Blade. There's a whole bunch of different characters connected. Lilith.
And then what's Bloodstone?
Yeah, Elsa Bloodstone, right? You got all kinds of different characters that they could possibly bring, and that's untapped. And a genre that is untapped in the Marvel universe as well. That if you watch every Marvel movie, you know that they're trying to tap into different, genres of movies, right? You got your Westerns, you've got your, your action, you got your love stories, there's all kinds of different genres they're going for: comedy, heist, everything. So for sure monsters are coming.
Now, see, that's how my thought process is going too, and I actually think, why not do like a whole team of it? So then you can introduce it maybe all at once if you felt like it, just to see how things are going. Where you have werewolf, you have Dracula, you have Man Thing, you mix it up, you have Bloodstone, and then
Man Thing is so important to the Wanda story because he is also supposedly a Nexus being, and he's like one of the most important Nexus being because he protects an entrance, right?
Exactly, in Louisiana.
A gateway, right?
Yeah, he
exactly.
protects the gateway in the swamp, and a lot of folks don't know that story arc. And his the bust of his head was at the top of the building on the Thor Ragnarok. I always remind that to people, man. Don't forget that. That was an Easter egg. So it's like they have thought about it, if nothing else, on how to try to bring him in. Yes. So, man, it's like I always have fun with this, man. Just trying to figure things out.
That would be cool, but we'll see. Have a Silver Surfer FF. Yeah, I definitely think we'll Silver Surfer. I don't know if we'll get in the second movie, but it's possible that we'll get like a tail ending to that movie with Silver Surfer.
Right.
Because I think they want to tell more of a family story, a more Earth-based.
Yeah.
Or not Earth-based, because obviously he's, no matter how you're going to look at it, Fantastic Four is going to be tied to Kang. So.
Right. Man, dude. So Young Avengers, Dark Avengers, a Monster Squad, right?
Yeah. I mean,
matter of fact, what was that? What was the title of that book? And that was actually the
Legion of Monsters or something like that.
So Legion of Monsters, that's one of them. But the one that I'm actually thinking about right now is
the Freedom Force or something.
I'm actually getting ready to pull it up, man, so I can show that I know what I'm talking about a little bit over here. so these people, I do a little research every now and then, right? But also how my brain works, man, because it's like I connect the dots a little bit differently from a lot of other people. So there we go. So I'm actually thinking about giant-sized creatures. Remember that book, Giant-Sized Creatures, and featuring Werewolf by Night, and that was actually the first appearance of Tigra, who we all know is an Avenger at one time, a West Coast Avenger, however you want to swing it, but I really like to keep up with those characters that have been Avengers at one point in time, because that's somebody that could fall into the mix easily,
Oh, yeah. No, there's so many characters have been Avengers, so it's hard to say who's going to come up in these movies, but that's the beauty of all of this, because any of them can at any time,
right?
As long as Feige's in charge,
right. So I'm gonna go back to the four: Young Avengers, Dark Avengers, and these could be mashups with New Avengers and Thunderbolts. We don't know. And then we said like Legion of Monsters. What do you have for the fourth one?
Okay, so we have. And then remember I said there's possibly a Nova movie.
Oh, yeah, you did. That's right. And we saw a title art picture a long time ago.
Because if we're talking champions, then we got to talk Sam Alexander.
Right. And then we can even get Richard Rider in the mix too, right?
But, yes. I know
Nova's
that
team, the Nova Corps is team, right?
Well, remember, Nova Corps is done. They obliterated, right?
That's right.
They're dead. Right. They're all dead.
Because of Endgame, right?
Because of Thanos, right? Thanos killed them all. So supposedly there was a talk about a Easter egg scene for that where a helmet flies off, right? But that doesn't happen, and they didn't shoot that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the reason why is they said they wanted that one person wanted to be the origin of how Nova comes about.
Yeah.
But Feige said he wanted to give it more respect and he wanted to tell a whole story.
Gotcha.
He didn't want like this little Easter egg to come out for it.
Got it.
So he does like Richard Rider.
Mm-hmm.
You can say all the jokes you want about it.
Right.
But here's the key is, again, this ties back to what we were just talking about with, like, you know, what Swaggle talks about, what I always talk about is about the animation. And Sam Alexander is a huge part of the animation.
He is.
Okay. He's the Nova that is the Nova for all the kids, you know, for the last 8 years or so. He's the one who's been partnered up with Spidey, you know, along with Miles. And you know, along with White Tiger.
Now that's who I'm actually keeping my eyes on right now, White Tiger.
Right, and yeah, she's on my list too. And she's way under the radar. And the same thing, you look at the Spider-Man Unlimited stuff. You got Aranya, you know, Corazon. Yeah. So I mean, you got there are great characters that they haven't used yet, and that they will. And I want to answer Swaggle House's question.
Oh yes, I saw. I put it back up. Right there.
Yeah. So do I think it's coming now or in like 15 years? Okay, not 15 years, but I honestly don't believe that we'll get the Secret Wars until the end of maybe Phase 5 or Phase 6.
So then we have a lot more new characters in the mix, huh?
Right, and the reason why is because here's what I'm hoping happens, because Kang is actually a big character, and because he spans throughout time. How do you defeat time, right? Yeah, and the fact that he's already said that there's an infinite amount of him. So if we show him us defeating him, you know, the Avengers defeating him in a movie, that's just one Kang. Right. There's an infinite amount of Kang, so
it's infinite.
Yeah, so we can beat him in Avengers 4, but guess what? In Avengers 5, you think it'd be another Kang.
And that's what I've been trying to tell people.
You know, there could be an Immortus, there could be a Ramatut, there could be a, you know, Scarlet Centurion. You know, there could be any, you know, version of Kang.
Yeah.
So as far as I think we're gonna get a battle with Kang, and I kind of hope that he's that character that's gonna get the respect that his character deserves, that he can survive being defeated, and that he can come back even harder the next time around.
Right, because like you said, once you kill me, it's gonna open up where a bunch of other me's are coming.
Right, a lot more worse me's. Right,
man. I can't wait. I'm all here for it, man. So, how you feeling, man? How you feeling? We're at the hour 17 mark. You got some more stuff you want to share?
No, I don't know. Like, let's talk about at least Spider-Man Eternals, just the upcoming movies.
Okay, all right.
So, let's talk about Eternals.
You got it.
So this is gonna make you happy. The Eternals movie, again, like I said before, it's tied to the mutants.
Yep.
It's tied to the humans. Right. So the possibilities are endless. The fact that it's also tied to Thanos, you know, the connection between everything in the MCU, we're going to see certain things being pulled in from the past and certain things that we're going to see that's going to make us see more down the line in the future.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And that definitely has to do with the mutants. You know, they're planting the seeds that, you know, if something gets awakened, you know, that those genes that are within humans could be awakened. Right. So we don't have to wait for the mutants to grow up. You know, we can automatically, they're teenagers or they're, you know, maybe in their early 20s, and, you know, what's up, Chef? And that once something happens, like this event happens that the Eternals take care of, something happens that awakens that gene. Because, okay, if you know the Eternal story, the Celestials come back and they're called back to awaken, or there's a sleeping Celestial inside the Earth.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
and that's supposed to awaken. And once that awakens,
It destroys the
it
earth.
destroys the earth, right?
Right.
There's no more earth, and the
Right.
Eternals are actually there not to prevent like the deviants from ravaging the earth.
Mhm.
They're actually there to protect the freaking celestial
From being awake. You're right. Right.
from being destroyed, right? Or
Right.
being prematurely awakened or whatever, right?
Exactly.
So that's why the Eternals are there. They don't know that, but
Right.
that's the reason why they're there. That's why they get instructions from another celestial.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so
hence why I've been collecting celestial books instead of eternal books.
so let's say, okay, so we obviously know the Earth is going to go on because we have Spider-Man Far From Home, which takes months after this Eternals movie is going to take place.
Yep.
So the Earth is still here. Okay, so what'll probably happen is they'll stop the Celestial from awakening and maybe even destroy it, where the energy from that will awaken or activate the genes within the mutants. That's my theory, and that's how you get the mutants, and then from there on, you're going to see news stories on the background of all these shows and all these movies of a couple gets frozen in their apartment, right? Guy who tries to rob, a mugger gets his face, melted off with, freaking poison or, acid or something, right? You're gonna
something
see
extreme.
you can see all these extreme things. School blows up. Just all in the background, and like, who are these people with powers and all this other stuff?
Right.
And that's how you're gonna get your mutant story, right? Because you need the most important part about being a mutant is the relatability of being a black man in America.
That's true.
And the reason why is because it's about, it came about in the 60s, right? The whole relationships between the relations of people of color and white America, basically. Right. And the way people are treated and inequality. I'm not trying to be political here. I'm just trying to, explain what the mutants were at the time and why they were created and what they represented.
Right.
And so you need that strife, right? You need that hatred for those kind of people, for the people who have powers, who are born with powers, who don't know how to control their powers. Right. So you need to see these news about all these destruction and bad accidents happening because people all of a sudden have powers, random people.
Right.
And people become afraid and they fear and then they hate. Right. We all know the Star Wars saying, right? Yoda, right? Yeah. And so that's what they need to build. If they don't build that, the mutants don't work in the MCU. I guarantee you, if you don't build a faction of people hating them and showing to the audience why they hate them, right? The good reasons that they have for fearing these people, right? And that's how you explain mutants. That's the problem they had with the Fox movies, right?
Yeah, because they didn't do that. They didn't like introduce it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like there's mutants, there's powers, and people are afraid.
That's it. Right.
That's it.
Right. It's not really like how it came to be. I got you.
No, you got to build it up, and if you don't build it up, then you can't. People won't understand. It's it just happened.
And then it takes it where it's a whole nother universe too.
Right, because then you got the reason why the X-Men would exist, right? To protect people, these people from getting, mobbed.
That are discriminated against.
Yeah, they're discriminated against. They're getting mobbed. They're being killed because people are afraid of them. People are always going to think, well, kill or be killed, right? Because these people got powers and I have no power. So I better kill them before they destroy us because they have the abilities.
Right.
Right. And that's where you're gonna need people like the X-Men, the X Factor, X-Force.
You're gonna
you need people to stick up for these people.
And the new mutants.
You're gonna have the evil, Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna need them. They're gonna have a different way of thinking. They're like, well, we're not just gonna protect you. We're gonna show you to fight for yourself.
Right, because eventually they're gonna have to give us Magneto and Professor X.
Right. So I mean, that's how you build that mutant story. That's the only way you build it.
Yeah, yeah. So Eternals is going to open all of that up, and
I think it opens the floodgate.
It's going to be amazing to see. And I also think we're going to get a Thanos backstory, like the prequel to how he became who he really is on that movie too.
If we don't get it in this movie, we'll get it in another Eternals movie. But
yeah, I think they're going to give us a glimpse though.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah. And then let's see here. You said we're going to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. Dude, it's like you said, that's opening the floodgates. We know this is part 2 to the WandaVision being a part 1 as far as the whole multiverse, theme. So
Wanda's story is going to traverse basically kind of through this movie, but not, it's just going to be a touch.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to doubt that it's possible that when Strange was creating that spell, it's not only that Peter messed up the spell, but there might be a reason why it was easier to mess up the spell, right? Because the Darkhold is being, is activated or something,
right?
That someone's using it and it's taking up power. There's all kinds of explanations that they can put in, because we haven't even touched the fact that has anything to do with this movie.
Yeah.
Right. And people can't even speculate exactly what she has to do with this movie, because what we've seen in the trailer is it's all Spider-Man and then there's Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So I think there's a possibility that whatever she's doing with the Darkhold has something to do with messing up that spell. Well, maybe we don't find that out until later.
Yeah. Man, dude, for them to bring back the Darkhold, because I didn't think we would see it again, being that it was on the ABC property for Shield, Agents of Shield. It's huge, and it shows how big that piece of the puzzle really is. And
it also shows just how separated. Like, people gotta listen. I don't care how much you love Agents of Shield, Netflix's Daredevil, Luke Cage, Punisher. As much as you guys love those things, and I watched every single one in every single episode, okay?
Yeah.
And I liked them just as well. But you have to remember, they were made by 2 different producers.
Right.
Okay. You've got Ike Perlmutter, who was head of it at the time. And then you've got Kevin Feige, who's in charge of the movie. So they have 2 different minds. They wanted nothing to do with each other. And look, we all know that at the time, television wasn't the biggest draw. Okay. And what you do to bring a big draw, you tie it to the movies, to the most successful movies that are in history. Right. So that's what Ike Perlmutter did. That's what he tried to make his TV series be.
Right.
But Feige isn't having any of it. So it's not connected. It never will be. It never has been. So don't expect any of it to be connected other than being a multiverse. So it's never going to be MCU proper. Right. So as far as I'm concerned, Darkhold exists. Anything that happened, Deathlock, that happened in there.
Right. That's right.
We're going to get a way better Deathlock in the MCU.
And I think we're going to get the other Deathlock.
Yeah, and Quake, we can easily get Quake.
I want to see Quake back. I'm on board with that.
It could be her too. It could be, it could be the same actor, but it'll be our version of Quake, not Agents of Shield's version of Quake.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm on board with that, man. I think that'll be awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we already know Spider-Man's getting ready to blow our minds and open up the floodgates as well, as far as bringing in characters who we kind of have an idea of, who we think is coming. Some we caught, introductions on the trailer, and some we haven't,
Right.
I think we're going to get some extra ones that we don't even know about yet.
See, that's the funny thing, because when people say that there's a Sinister Six that's going to be in this movie, we have no idea who those 6 are going to be.
And even there's so many different Sinister Six teams within the books.
Exactly. And there's been enough villains to fill a Sinister 10.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, his Rose Gallery is infinite almost.
Right.
With all the characters they
people are saying it's Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Electro, Sandman.
Well, we saw Doc Ock.
Right, we saw Doc Ock.
We heard the voice.
We saw Goblin.
Right.
His pumpkin. Right, we heard his voice. We also saw electricity, yellow electricity.
We did.
we already know because of Jamie Foxx that
Right.
he's not going to be his blue version of Electro. He's going to be the yellow version of Electro, which is going to be
Totally different.
Totally different, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we've heard rumors of Sandman coming, right? And in the trailer, you saw this big, huge sand coming up to block electricity from hitting Peter.
Right.
So I mean, and then on top of that, people said that they saw a lizard in that little dark scene that was right behind Peter.
See, I didn't quite see that. I saw something.
Some people said it was Morbius, but there's no way it's Morbius because Morbius movie isn't out yet.
Right.
Okay.
I actually liked that trailer when they dropped it back when.
Yes. Yeah, I'm okay with the movie. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of Sony. I'm not the biggest fan of like Fox because what they do with those properties is they like to really not be as close to the comic books as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So I got a question for you right there from Al.
Oh, you know what? I honestly believe there will be. I honestly believe we are going to get some Easter eggs because we're not going to get them, but we'll get some Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because this movie is basically the multiverse, the Edge of Spider-Verse, basically.
It is. It's just animated series, live action.
It's just a live action. They could even connect it to the animated series because it's a multiverse.
Hey, that's still my favorite Marvel movie, dude.
But yeah, I mean, again, and you got to call back to the first movie that we had Miles' uncle, right? So there's got to be something. He's at least. So if at the time Miles was talking to his sister, I believe, and she was talking about her baby. Right. So we know that Miles was already born.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about when we had Donald Glover?
Yes, when he got webbed to the car. So like we already know that Miles was already born. So and then you got to add in the blip, right? So there's an extra 5 years in between, plus however long it's been since that first movie, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the kids could be almost 10, basically, right?
Yeah.
At least 7 or 8. So I mean, you're getting closer to Miles coming to fruition. He could be already over 10 for all we know. We don't know how old the kid was, when he was talking to her. So
right, that's true.
I don't know if he was talking to her mother or his nephew, but I remember it was a mention of basically Miles being in the world.
Right, exactly. He's in the universe.
Right.
So, man, I don't want to cut you off or anything, but dude, you and me, we could go on and on.
Oh yeah.
We're at the 1:30 mark, and I just want to shout out everybody still in the chat that hung in there with us. Really appreciate you all.
Thank you.
We just wanted to, get the wheels turning. Give you all some ideas, maybe some, books to look into, some things to keep up with, and where everyone else is going left, you'll be able to go right. And we're definitely gonna have to have a part 2 of this, man, because it's so much more stuff. And then just to come back and circle back around to see if we were actually right, or see if we were actually close in the ballpark, and to have fun with this again, because I know you do a lot more as far as keeping up with the movies and the TV shows and all of that stuff. So that's why I like to, talk to you about this, because, not just the books, but, the movies and the TV shows and how that side of things works. So, I got one more. Let's see. We got Chef over here asking a question. What's Chef talk about? Let's see. Should we thank female Loki?
I'm going to say yes. And you know why?
Yeah,
because we're gonna get all kinds of goodness. Everything that you guys thought that could never happen. Everyone always talked about, we're never gonna see how crazy Doctor Strange gets. We're never gonna see all the nightmare stuff or vampires and stuff. Like, we're never gonna see the zombies in our world.
That's right.
We're never gonna see like these monstrous things and different. Everything that you ever wanted, time, traveling, multiverse, all this stuff that you thought people would never understand. Guess what? It's all happening.
It is,
and it isn't going to stop.
And it's all fair game now too.
Amen.
Because she did that, it's all fair game. And man, we're gonna end it on that note right there. I want to give a shout out to everybody. Thanks for teaming up with us for Tiger Tuesdays.
Yep.
And like I told you all before, it's not going to be every week. Right now, it's every month, but it may pop up a little bit more frequently. We got some more things in the works. And you never know, we might be on Instagram one day, YouTube one day, or it might just be a live sale or something, So just keep up
Yeah.
with me, man. I'm going to keep it coming. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks to everybody in the live feed. Thanks to everybody on the rewind. And we
Catch
will
us
catch you
tomorrow.
all later. All right. Oh yeah, catch us tomorrow for introspective game show on Team Nerd Herd podcast. And we are out. Peace.
Peace.